Hey fellas, let's get real for a second. Here's a hard pill to swallow. People rarely appreciate what they think they'll always have. The moment they sense you're not easy to replace, that's when everything changes. If you're starting to feel like just a backup option in a woman's life, it's time to flip the script. The key isn't to beg for her attention, it's to subtly show that you've got options and aren't afraid to walk away. So let's break down how you can send that message loud and clear without ever having to say a word. 1. Embody a more masculine persona. If you're tired of being treated like an option, it's time to shift how you show up. Masculine energy is rooted in independence, strength, and purpose, not neediness or constant availability. Women are instinctively drawn to men who operate from a place of power. They know, often subconsciously, that a man who stands firm in his masculinity won't chase or cling. Instead, he chooses. He evaluates. He leads. Studies have shown that men with higher testosterone levels, typically more masculine men, are less likely to commit easily. Why? Because they value their freedom and are selective with their emotional investments. This doesn't mean you should act like a jerk. It means you should carry yourself with the kind of quiet confidence that says, I don't need you, but I choose to be here. That distinction changes everything. By subtly projecting this persona, you create a level of unpredictability. She knows you're not easily pinned down, and that uncertainty keeps her on her toes. It forces her to see your value rather than assume your presence. The point isn't to pretend to be someone you're not. It's to connect with the part of you that refuses to be reduced to a backup plan. Lean into that strength. Let your masculine energy do the talking. 2. Spend more time with the guys. One of the most overlooked yet powerful ways to shift the dynamic with a woman is to spend more quality time with your male friends. This isn't about neglecting her, it's about realigning your priorities. A man who has a life beyond his romantic relationship sends a very strong message. You are not my entire world. And that's exactly what keeps her interested. You see, when you surround yourself with good men, brothers who challenge you, push you to grow, and hold you accountable, you become a better version of yourself. Your confidence increases, your decision-making sharpens, and your sense of identity strengthens. From her perspective, this can trigger a fear of losing influence. Suddenly, you're not as emotionally dependent. You've got a circle that energizes you and that makes you more magnetic. It also builds a kind of subtle mystery. She'll begin to wonder what you're talking about with your friends, where you're going, what you're planning. That curiosity is gold in dating. It keeps her emotionally engaged. So go ahead, plan that weekend trip, hit the gym with the guys, or just hang out and shoot the breeze. Not only is it good for your mental health, but it also shifts the power dynamic in your favor. A woman respects a man who has his own tribe. 3. Expand your social circle to include more women. Here's a truth many guys overlook. Having more women in your life, even in non-romantic roles, can shift how the woman you're dating sees you. Why? Because it subtly activates something deep in human nature: competition. When she sees you engaging with other women, it introduces an element of challenge. She begins to realize that your attention is valuable and that other women see it too. This isn't about being disrespectful or flirtatious. It's about showing her that you're socially desirable. Women want a man who other women notice, even if it's just on a subconscious level. When your social life includes other women, she feels a need to step up, to invest more, to hold your interest. She's reminded that she's not the only one who sees your value, and that alone creates a powerful shift. It's important that these relationships are authentic. Don't fake connections to provoke jealousy. That's immature. Instead, expand your network naturally. Be charismatic, be kind, and show that you can hold space with women comfortably. Whether it's co-workers, classmates, or longtime friends, the key is to maintain a strong social presence. This dynamic reminds her that if she doesn't appreciate you, someone else will. That thought, it plants a seed of urgency, and urgency leads to action. 4. Don't fear losing her. This is one of the biggest mindset shifts a man can make, letting go of the fear of losing her. The moment you begin to fear losing a woman, you start playing the game from behind. That fear drives you to overcompensate. You become too available, too agreeable, and too eager to please. And ironically, that fear you're trying to avoid, losing her, starts to become your reality. Women can sense when a man is operating from fear instead of confidence. It shows in the way you speak, how you react to her moods, and how you handle disagreements. A man who's afraid of losing her puts her on a pedestal and puts himself beneath her. But attraction doesn't work that way. She wants a partner, not a servant. Here's the truth. You were whole before she came into your life, and you'll be whole even if she walks away. That mindset is powerful. It creates emotional balance. It means you're choosing to be with her, not clinging to her. It means you're capable of walking away if respect is lost or boundaries are crossed. This kind of inner strength is rare, and it's magnetic. It tells her you won't tolerate being mistreated, that your peace of mind comes first. And when she senses that, her respect for you grows. She starts working to keep you, instead of assuming she already has you. 5. Be authentic and honest. Let's be real, most men don't show up as their true selves when they really like a woman. They water themselves down. They hide their flaws, their opinions, their values, all out of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being misunderstood, or fear of pushing her away. But here's the catch. The more you hide who you really are, the harder it becomes to maintain the illusion. And eventually, the mask slips. Authenticity is one of the most attractive traits a man can have. Why? Because it's rare. In a world full of fake personas and carefully curated social profiles, being real is refreshing. It shows confidence, self-respect, and emotional maturity. When a man stands in his truth, when he speaks his mind respectfully, owns his past and lives by his values, he becomes unforgettable. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. Say what you mean. Don't pretend to be into things you're not. If something bothers you, speak up. If you love something, share it. The right woman won't be scared off. She'll be drawn in. Being honest also builds trust. She'll know you're not playing games or putting on a performance. And when a woman senses that kind of groundedness, she's much less likely to take you for granted. She'll recognize that losing a man who's true to himself would be a serious loss. 6. Set firm boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define how you expect to be treated. And here's the key. Women can't truly love a man they don't respect. If you let her constantly cross your boundaries, whether it's with her words, her actions, or her attitude, don't be surprised if the attraction starts to fade. Too many guys confuse love with tolerance. They think that if they let things slide, she'll appreciate their patience. But what really happens? She starts losing respect. Not because she's cruel, but because humans instinctively test boundaries. And when there are none, the value of the person becomes unclear. You have to set the tone. You have to let her know what's acceptable and what's not, and be ready to walk away if she keeps crossing the line. This doesn't mean being controlling or rigid. It means protecting your peace and making sure your needs are also being met. A man who enforces his boundaries is a man who values himself. And that kind of self-respect is incredibly attractive. She knows she can't manipulate you emotionally. She knows she can't push you around. That creates a healthy balance where love can grow. The moment you stop being a pushover is the moment she starts seeing you in a new light, not as someone she can control, but as someone she has to earn. 7. Display your disappointment. Here's something most guys never talk about: showing your disappointment. Not with anger, not with drama, but with calm confidence. When you act like nothing ever bothers you, like every little disrespect or mistake is no big deal, you unknowingly tell her that your standards are low, and if she doesn't think your standards are high, she won't feel the need to meet them. A man who quietly shows he's disappointed when lines are crossed sends a strong message. I'm not desperate. I have options. I expect more. It's a subtle but powerful way to shift the dynamic. Instead of chasing her approval, you let her know that she should be earning yours. That's a game changer. You're not being petty or playing games here, you're just being honest. If she says something out of line, let her see your reaction. If she cancels plans at the last minute or disrespects your time, don't just brush it off. Make it known, with your body language, your tone, or even silence, that you noticed, and it didn't sit right with you. This creates what psychologists call positive pressure. It's the idea that your approval is something valuable, not something given freely, no matter how she acts. When she sees that she can't walk all over you without consequence, she'll start re-evaluating her behavior and her words. You don't have to raise your voice, just raise your standards. 8. Be emotionally unavailable at times. This one's all about balance. You don't need to go full robot and shut off emotionally, but you shouldn't always be her emotional sponge either. If she knows you're always there, always listening, always validating her feelings no matter what, she starts to take it for granted. Emotional availability becomes your default setting, and that removes the tension and polarity that keep attraction alive. Women don't fall in love with a man they feel they control emotionally. They fall for the man who offers connection, but doesn't give it away cheaply. Sometimes it's okay to pull back. Not to punish her, but to maintain your own emotional balance. Let her wonder what's on your mind. Let her feel your absence occasionally. Maybe you're out with friends and don't reply right away. Maybe you don't always jump in to be her therapist. Maybe you don't always share your thoughts immediately. That's not cold, it's powerful. It creates space for her to lean in instead of always expecting you to lean toward her. When you show emotional discipline, you send the message that you're not always available on demand, that you're centered in yourself, that you won't let her moods dictate your actions. And that makes you stand out from the crowd, because when you're just slightly out of emotional reach, you become far more interesting and far more desirable. 9. Center your life around something else. If your whole world revolves around her, she feels it, and not in a good way. At first, she might enjoy the attention, but over time, it creates a pressure she didn't ask for. She starts feeling like she's responsible for your happiness. And trust me, that's not attractive. It's exhausting. A man who centers his life around his mission, passions, and personal growth is a man who's magnetic. He doesn't need a relationship to feel whole. He doesn't beg for time or attention. Instead, he's busy building something meaningful, chasing purpose, and becoming the best version of himself. This doesn't mean you ignore her. It means you put your purpose first. Maybe it's your business, your fitness goals, your creative pursuits, whatever makes you feel alive and fulfilled. When you do that, you create a dynamic where she feels lucky to be part of your journey instead of being your entire world. She starts to see you as a man who can't be easily replaced, a man with momentum, and that's the guy she fears losing. Why? Because he's rare, because his self-worth isn't tied to her validation, because he won't drop everything for her unless she's proven she's worth it. When she sees that your life is full, with or without her, it makes her want to stay in it even more. So there it is, guys. Master these moves and you'll stop being seen as an option and start being seen as a priority. The goal isn't to manipulate, it's to become a man of value, one who stands strong, lives fully, and doesn't chase, because what's meant for him will never require that. See you in the next one.